Tom Andrews was used to life's disappointments. He spent the last few years drifting from one low-paying job to another, trying to skate by in a city that seemed to grow colder and more indifferent with each passing day. His dreams had long faded, replaced by a routine that felt like survival more than living. Each morning he would walk to his job, a small repair shop, shoulders hunched, eyes downcast, blending into the crowd as though he barely existed. One evening, after a particularly long and exhausting shift, Tom was crossing the street on his way home. His mind wandered as he thought about the stack of bills waiting for him, the loneliness that filled his apartment, and the ache of wanting something more, but never reaching it. In an instant, he was thrown into darkness. A blaring horn, the screech of brakes, everything happened too quickly to comprehend. When he opened his eyes, he wasn't on the street. He wasn't anywhere he recognized. He floated in a dim, endless space that felt neither warm nor cold, neither alive nor dead. He felt strangely at peace, as if every worry he had ever carried had vanished. Just as he was ready to give in to this calm, he noticed a figure approaching, dressed in robes that shimmered with a light that seemed to come from within. The figure's face was gentle. It radiated warmth, something Tom hadn't felt in a long time. "Tom," the figure said softly, its voice echoing around him. "I am the Soul Keeper. You're standing on the edge between life and death. Your heart has stopped, but there is still a choice. Would you like to see your life once more, to remember why you began this journey?" Tom hesitated, but something about the Soul Keeper's presence gave him the courage to nod. He hadn't thought there was anything worth remembering, but the Soul Keeper simply smiled, extending a hand. "Let us look together." The Soul Keeper raised a hand, and around them, scenes from Tom's life began to materialize. It was like watching memories unfold in a theater. He saw himself as a boy running through fields with his older brother, their laughter filling the air. He saw his mother's face, her kind eyes watching over him, filled with pride, when he brought home his first report card. But then the scene shifted to darker times. He saw himself in high school, failing tests, the fights with his father, the nights he spent in solitude as his family drifted apart, his brother leaving, his mother falling ill. He remembered how, slowly, he had stopped caring, how the dreams he once had were replaced by numbness that dulled everything. Tom felt the weight of those years all over again, the loneliness, the disappointment. This is my life," he whispered, feeling a mix of shame and regret. The Soul Keeper nodded. "Life is filled with both joy and sorrow, Tom, but there are memories here that hold the beauty of who you are." The scene shifted again, and Tom saw moments he had long forgotten. A day when he helped a neighbor fix her roof, the smiles she gave him in gratitude, the time he spent at his old job fixing an elderly man's radio and receiving a heartfelt thank you. Small moments, acts of kindness that had meant little at the time, but now felt significant. As he watched, Tom realized there were glimmers of purpose even in his simple, uneventful life. For the first time in years, he felt a stirring in his heart, a sense of worth he had buried long under layers of bitterness and regret. He looked at the Soul Keeper, a question lingering in his gaze. "Is this enough to keep going?" The Soul Keeper's eyes softened. "Only you can decide that, but there's more yet to see." The memories continued, but now they focused on dreams Tom had once held dear. He saw himself at 18, standing on a bridge, dreaming of becoming an artist. He wanted to capture the world's beauty, to paint landscapes and portraits that told stories, but life's hardships had crushed those dreams. He watched himself turning away from the canvas, closing the door on his art. The Soul Keeper looked at him gently. "Why did you let it go?" Tom struggled to answer, feeling the sting of failure. "Life happened. It felt pointless, like I wasn't good enough. I thought no one would care about my art." "But you cared," the Soul Keeper replied. "You once saw the world in colors and shapes and forms. This is a gift, Tom, a purpose that only you can fulfill. The world needs people who see it in all its beauty, even in moments of darkness." The scene shifted again, and Tom saw himself reaching out to a few people in his life, offering comfort and kindness even when he had little to give. He realized that while he had forgotten his art, he had always tried to brighten others' days in small ways, whether through a kind word, a helping hand, or a quiet presence. It hit him that his life, though simple, had meaning. In his own quiet way, he had left a mark on the world, and maybe, just maybe, there's more he could do if he chose to live. Tom looked back at the Soul Keeper, eyes wide with new awareness. "I never realized. I didn't think I was important." The Soulkeeper's voice was kind. Every soul has worth, Tom. Sometimes we just need to be reminded. Life gives us many chances to create meaning if we're willing to see them. Tom felt a deep longing to return, a desire he hadn't felt in years. The peace of this in-between place had felt comforting, but now he understood that true peace could only come from living with purpose, from embracing life's ups and downs. The Soulkeeper extended a hand to him. Tom, your heart will only beat again if you choose it. You have seen your past, your joys and your sorrows, your dreams and regrets. Now I ask you, is there something worth fighting for? Tom hesitated, fear gripping him. Life was uncertain, and he had known so much pain, but he had also seen beauty, glimpses of purpose he had never recognized before. He remembered the dreams he had abandoned, the people he had helped, and the simple kindness that had once brought him joy. Yes, he whispered, his voice growing stronger. I want to live. I want to try again. The Soulkeeper's smile was soft, full of understanding. Then hold on to that purpose, Tom. Let it guide you, even when times are hard. You are meant to make your own path, one that only you can create. Tom closed his eyes, feeling a surge of warmth, a spark igniting within him. His soul felt lighter, filled with a sense of hope and resilience he hadn't known before. He was ready to return, to face life with newfound purpose. Tom's eyes fluttered open, the sounds of the world rushing back, sirens, murmurs, the blinding lights of an ambulance. He felt pain, but it was distant, overshadowed by the overwhelming realization that he was alive. Paramedics hovered over him, their voices filled with relief. "We've got him back," one of them said, smiling down at him. "Welcome back, buddy. You gave us quite a scare." Tom looked around, dazed but grateful. He felt an unexplainable peace within him, the memory of the Soulkeeper's presence lingering in his mind. The moments he had witnessed, the small acts of kindness, the dreams he had once held dear, reminded him that life was precious, worth fighting for. Tom made a silent vow to himself. He would live with purpose, to rekindle his love for art, to find beauty in life's small moments, and to help others as best as he could. He had been given a second chance, and he wouldn't waste it. He closed his eyes again, not to fade away, but to embrace the future waiting for him, with a heart now beating to the rhythm of newfound purpose. Tom was ready to face whatever lay ahead.